All right, guys, Netanyahu's Gaza gamble. Is there disaster ahead? All right, guys, time to break this down piece by piece. Let's dive in. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on the baseline today. So let me get this straight. The world is literally begging Israel to stop. And their answer is, actually, we're going to take Gaza City too. And that's like your doctor telling you, you really need to cut back on red meat. And you respond by ordering the all-you-can-eat rib buffet. So here's a poll for the comment section below. If your allies, your closest allies, Britain, Italy, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, all say, don't do it, do you push ahead anyway? Or do you maybe think, even if Australia is mad at me, maybe I'm the problem? Well, here's the short version of the UN here, right? So the UN is calling an emergency meeting this Sunday. 5 major Western governments have issued a joint statement. They say Netanyahu's plan will deepen the humanitarian catastrophe and endangering the remaining hostages. In their words, they're violating international law. But Israel, they're saying your condemnation means nothing, and we will finish Hamas. And finish Hamas means, in their own plan, sending troops to capture Gaza City, a city where millions of Palestinians once lived. Now, here's where I want you guys to hang in with me a bit, because there are 3 questions that drive this entire story. And one is, what does taking Gaza City actually mean militarily and in human terms? Why are former Israeli security chiefs calling this plan dangerous? And how does a leader gamble on a move this big when polls say most of his own citizens think it's the wrong way to bring the hostages home? Now, before we unpack that, let's zoom in on 2 pictures of the same city, 2 years apart. One shows neighborhoods so dense you can't see the streets. The other, whole blocks gone, flattened, like the before and after of an earthquake that never stopped. So I want you to keep that image in your mind, but here's the emergency meeting that nobody really wants, right? And when the UN calls an emergency meeting, that's diplomatic code for, we know you're going to ignore us, but we're still going to yell at you in a big room with microphones. And the Secretary General is calling this escalation dangerous and specifically warning it that it could kill hostages. Now, this is important because we're not just talking about foreign critics anymore. These are Israel's own families of hostages in the streets every weekend saying, if you send troops into Gaza City, you're signing your own loved ones' death warrants. Now, this brings us to the 75% line right now. So right now, Israel controls about 75% of Gaza. And the next move is Gaza City, urban, densely packed, and still home to hundreds of thousands despite mass displacement. Now, Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, basically saying, you will not weaken our resolve, which is one of those lines that sound tough, but also kind of sounds like the plot of a Netflix series that ends badly for everybody. Now, what's life on the ground over there inside Gaza City? Inside Gaza City, people are living in tents. Food is scarce, aid is a trickle, and under this plan, up to 1 million people will be ordered to flee again for the 12th time in less than a year. So one woman asked reporters, where should we go? Into the sea at this point? And that's not a metaphor. That's desperation so real. You can see it. You can feel it from them, right? And here's the part that really burns into everyone's minds, right? So just 50 miles away in Jerusalem, people are stocking up for the weekend. Markets buzzing, shelves full. Meanwhile, Gazans are debating whether they have enough water to make it through the day. Same war, same moment, 2 realities. So here's the gamble, right? Even Israel's own security insiders are warning Netanyahu not to do this. Over 500 former military and intelligence officials signed letters saying this move could backfire, not just militarily, but politically, diplomatically. and morally. But here's the thing. Hamas has already said if Israeli troops come near where hostages are held, their captors have orders to kill them. So this isn't just about defeating Hamas. It's about whether you're willing to risk killing your own people to hit your enemy harder. Now, it's interesting because the moment the decision dropped, the Israeli chief of staff, who was known to oppose it, suddenly stood next to Netanyahu and said, we're going to be unified. And that's the kind of public face that says, well, whatever we argued in the back room stays in the back room. And it signals to the world that Israel isn't moving an inch under pressure. So now the table is set. The UN meeting is hours away. Western allies are furious. Hostage families are preparing for another weekend of protests. And Netanyahu, he's doubling down. So the question is this. Will this be remembered as the move that finished Hamas or the gamble that shattered Israel's international standing and cost more Israeli lives? Because here's the part no one's talking about yet. Even if Gaza City falls, the war doesn't end there. And the next phase, that's where real geopolitical firestorms begin. And that's what we need to talk about the next round or the next episode of The Baseline. So thank you guys again so much for joining me. Leave your comments in the section below and let me know what you think. Do I got this all wrong? Is my analysis off? Give me your thoughts. I would love to read your comments. All right. Thank you again for joining me, and we'll catch you in the next round. Cheers, everybody.